Hey everyone! Well, we're here. We're back, and today we're doing another anti-MLM video, and for this video we will be talking about Plexus. The video we will be reacting to is all about, you probably guessed it, recruitment, because nothing says we are not a pyramid scheme more than teaching people who were recruited into an MLM how to recruit more people into that MLM. And I'm sure we will gain totally unique, totally new knowledge about recruiting because, as always, whatever somebody says in one MLM is totally unique, special, different to that MLM and has never been taught, said, or mentioned in any other MLM out there because every MLM is unique and never repeats the same information. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you really, really liked it, please subscribe. Make sure to check out my description below for all of my fun links. And with all of that said, let's get started.
Okay, so recruiting, like what even is recruiting and why do we recruit? So it's like one of the major things that I don't care if you call it a coldie or a reach out message or a discovery message, like I don't care what it is, but in order to be successful in this business, you've got to reach out to people and discover if they have a need that we can help with. Like you have to discover if they want what we, or if they want what we have, right? And so that literally is like recruiting right there. Like you have to reach out to people. There's so many times when, oops, what am I doing here? There's so many times when we feel like I can't do reach outs or coldies or whatever you want to call it.
She keeps saying coldies, and I know she means cold messages. I don't think I've ever heard anybody call it a coldie before, and maybe because like cold message has a negative stigma behind it, but like calling it something cute and calling it a coldie is still exactly what it is. You're still messaging someone out of nowhere in the hope that they will buy from you or, more importantly, join the business underneath you. And here's the thing. You know how we watch a lot of MLM debunkers or debunking MLM myths, and they always say the cold message is, you know, a myth. No, we don't do that anymore. This person right here is saying that they do in their MLM. And of course, people who do the debunking MLM myths will say, well, in my team, we don't do that. It's like, well, then say that. Say whatever MLM that you are a part of, and in your team, you don't do that. You can't say that it's a myth in general if people in other MLMs are doing it. That doesn't make it a myth. It just means that you're not doing it. Just because you're not doing it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Like cold messages, whatever it is, because I don't want to feel salesy, right? Like, have you ever felt that? Like, I don't want to be salesy, or has anybody ever told you that? I can't do what you do because I don't want to be salesy.
I literally got a message like that today. Somebody was like, I'm interested in what you do, but I don't know if I can do that. Like, I don't want to be salesy. That's what's her exact words.
Yeah. And that's like actually one of my favorite objections, because I just feel like I can just like work with that. Like, that's amazing, because I don't want you to be salesy either. Like, I don't want any of you all here to be salesy or feel salesy or slimy or sleazy or any of that, right?
But you are in a sales job. That is your job. If you don't want to sell things to people because it makes you uncomfortable to sell things to people, no matter the way that you twist it and whatnot, you're still in a sales position. You are still a salesperson. That is the job when you join an MLM. When you pay to work for an MLM, you are becoming a salesperson for that company. So no matter how you word it, if you're pretending to be best friends with the person that you're talking to, you eventually will get to the point where you try and recruit them or sell a product to them, aka being a salesy person.
No. Okay, so how? Like, how do you not be salesy? Okay, well, number one, you've got to be authentic. That is why it is so challenging for me to give my team like message ideas, because I'm like, this sounds like me. I say dude, I don't say y'all. I'm in California, you know? If I sent a message to somebody and it said y'all, they'd be like, no, right? So number one, like, you've got to be authentic. You have to be.
And yeah. Can we just like tag team these a little bit too?
Yeah, yes.
Because another thing on being authentic, you guys, is like go to their Facebook wall and check their Facebook page before you message them. Like I remember one time, y'all, I was so thankful I did that because literally her grandma had died like that day. And I was like, holy crap, that would have been so rude. And so like that.
I'm glad that she at least is admitting to that. Like, hey, see what's going on in their life before you go and try and recruit them into an MLM, even though people will use that sort of life event as a reason that they should join an MLM, which is gross and wrong. But did she say, like, to be authentic, make sure to go to their profile? I don't know how that makes you authentic, but okay.
This is another way you can be authentic. Go look and see what they've been going through. Have they been sick lately? Have they been in a good season, a bad season, a hard season? Like, so that's another way.
And I think we all have to like flip our script and our mindset to realize that like the point of reaching out is absolutely not to sell someone on anything. The point of reaching out is to connect and is to realize or discover if they have a pain or a struggle that we can help with. Like,
so then eventually to sell them something. So your point of reaching out to people, whether you know them or not, and you're trying to find that light bulb moment that you can use against them, essentially, you are always trying to sell them something, whether it be the business opportunity or a product. Like, you always have an agenda for reaching out to someone. There is always, the core of it is because you want to recruit them or sell a product to them. Recruiting is obviously more of the main thing, but if you always have an agenda of reaching out to someone, you lose your authenticity. I feel like I have said that so many times, but it's true. You cannot say, oh, you're not being salesy, you're just being authentic by reaching out to them and trying to figure out how you can help them. Yeah, to get them to buy something from you, to get them so that you get commission or so that you get more numbers underneath you to boost you up in the ranks, so you can benefit from it. You always have an agenda, therefore it can't be authentic. You are selling something to them because you're in a sales job. It's okay.
Discover their pain is the reason why we are sending these messages. It is not to make a sale. In fact, like I cannot think of a time ever in my entire 2 years where I reached out to someone and they signed up in that initial message within minutes. I mean, yes, it happens every once in a while, but no, like I have to discover their pain and we have to have a conversation and even we have to build that like mutual trust, right? And so like that is what your coldie, your initial reach out, your discovery message, whatever you're going to call it is like the expectation is to discover their pain and help unwrap it and uncover it, not to make a sale, like at all. Complimenting them. So again, like I said, going back to their social media, like if there's something that you're seeing that they're talking a lot about, maybe they learned how to bake sourdough bread. I don't know, whatever it is, like, but you're a genuine, authentic compliment. Like it is not just like, hey, like copy pasted because I sent this to the last 5 people that had cute kids. No, it's like a genuine compliment on them. Like that is important. Okay, but also like you actually need to be their friend. You actually need to care. You actually need to realize that this conversation will likely go on for months and months and months before you will ever get down to the root of their pain enough for them to be like, yes, okay, this is something that I need.
Talking, and that's just to one person, talking to them for months and months and months because you have an agenda. It's like you have to become their actual authentic friend. And it's like, how is it authentic if you're talking to them for months just to hope that you can find a pain point that you can exploit? How is that a great friendship? And how is it real and authentic if by the time you do get there, you're like, oh, great, now I can sell to them. And then maybe they'll be like, oh, yeah, I will get involved. Or they'll feel really let down because they're like, I thought this person was being an authentic, genuine friend, but turns out they were just trying to recruit me into their MLM the entire time. And also, like I said, that's just one person they're talking to. They want them to be talking to as many people as possible. And these conversations are months and months long, talking to just so many people. And again, if one person may feel special, but they're talking to 16, 17, 18 other people along with you, trying to make them feel special, it's going to make the other person feel even worse because they're like, oh, I'm not as special. This isn't a really real friendship. This is just someone who was trying to recruit me along with the other 18 people that they were talking to. Because somebody in one of my comments before had made a good point of saying, like, let's say you are one of the other people in the Zoom call, learning how to recruit people, learning how to talk to people and sell the products. And they were recruited this way of, like, one of these women was being a genuine, authentic friend to them. Turns out, yeah, that was just a sales tactic. That's just an MLM tactic that they used to get them to sign up. Like, wouldn't that make them feel kind of crappy? It would make me feel crappy, and I'd be like, okay, so the way that they got me to join, I now have to turn around and do that to other people. And I'm learning that it's not as genuine and special as I may have thought it was. I don't know. You just would think that that would maybe cross one of their minds, and maybe it does. I don't know. You know, maybe one of them is watching this and they're like, oh, wow, yeah, this business is not what I thought it was. It's actually kind of scummy and a little underhandedy, like you have to be sneaky about stuff, but yet they hide it behind the words authentic and real and genuine.
Trust you. I trust our relationship and our mutual respect that has gone back and forth, right? You actually need to be their friend. And that is not just in that message thread. That is on their social media. That is engaging with what they're talking about. That is being excited for them when they get a new job or when they have something exciting happening. It's all of that. It's not just only talking to them when you sent them that cold message. And you also have to remember, and I know I say this to my team all the time.
Was she just telling someone how to be a friend? That you have to genuinely care about them, genuinely care about their interests, engage in the exciting things in their life? That is what being a friend is. But maybe in an MLM, they do need reminders of what it's like to be an actual friend, because they are always trying to profit off of each other and use each other for money, so the authenticity and how to actually be a genuine person does get lost in the intermingledness of whatever this is.
But like one way that I've really helped to flip that script for me in terms of like being nervous to reach out about the business especially is I'm sharing about something that truly has made a difference for me and I truly love, like with my entire being. And I truly feel like if I'm not sharing it, I'm disservicing my friends and family. Like, and I legitimately feel that to my core. So I shamelessly share about it because I feel like just like if you had, I mean, just like our products, but just like if you had the cure to cancer and you didn't share it, like you would be disservicing people, right? This is the same way I feel about our products and our business. Like,
did she just compare Plexus products to if somebody had the cure for cancer? Those are not at all the same thing.
I'm disservicing you if I'm not.
Plexus products are 1 in a billion. They are a health and wellness company promoting weight loss and healthy living and all that through shakes and I think mainly shakes and probably pills as well. Like that's not a unique once in a lifetime product. There are so many MLMs out there that do that. There are so many just companies that sell weight loss shakes and diet pills. Like it's not unique and special to Plexus.
Reaching out to you about it, right? You're also disservicing them if you're just expecting that they're going to reach out to you because you posted about it on your social media. Like that's not going to happen.
We call that posting and praying here. Has anybody ever said, I think I just want to like take it slow. I don't really think I want to message people. I think I just want to post for a while and just see where that goes. You guys, that to me is salesy. Like, yeah. If you have a thing that you love, why are you not in my inbox? If you actually have a thing that you love and you only talk about it twice a month, do you really love it?
Right. You can love things and not talk about them all day, every day. Like, you can enjoy things without talking about them all the time. And then let's just say that somebody just wants to generally talk about it on their social media and they don't want to reach out to people. They're also allowed to do that because it's their business, right? They can do it however they want, but yet that doesn't benefit the upline when they're not reaching out to people. Because it's not just their business, it's also the upline's business and then their upline's business and so on and so forth until we go up to the top. So really, it's just carbon. They just create carbon copies of every single person that comes into the MLM because they're teaching all these people how to do this. Then they'll want those people to teach any new recruits that they somehow manage to get, and then those recruits. And so they're just creating the same individual all the way down the lines as time goes on. Nobody can do what they want. If they do choose to do what they want, then they're told that that's the salesy way to do it. They're almost shamed for doing what they feel is right or what they are comfortable with. You know, it's like, it can't be your own business if people are telling you how to do it.
Like, so to me, that's like the opposite of owning a business and taking care of your business and really loving what you do. It's, I'm nervous. I don't really know if I want to do this. I have one foot in. So it's like the opposite.
Yeah. And I think that kind of brings us to our next point about,
you don't have to shove your product or your service down people's throats in order to be a business owner. You don't have to be contacting every single person that you know or messaging every stranger or telling every person that comes in a 2 feet radius of you just to be a business owner. You can separate business and personal life, but in MLMs, you really can't.
like, it's kind of like, it's a pretty little package, right? So yes, you've got, in order to recruit people, you've got to send messages. You've got to reach out to people. You've got to be excitedly in people's inboxes, right? But you've also got to be building your credibility. And you do that by consistently posting and showing up on your social media. And so for me, like, if I've been reached out to hundreds of times for different reasons, right? But if like the people that I'm like, okay, well maybe like, yes, because they're passionately posting about it all the time, and that builds your credibility. If you don't ever post about it and you're just reaching out, that is slimy and salesy. Like, that feels yucky, and it should feel yucky to you when you're doing it, because it's like, people don't even know who you are, where you are. You haven't showed up on social media since high school, and here you are sending them a message. Like, that is not what we want to do at all. Like, not at all. But we want people to know, like, we want it to be a trigger. When I reach out to you and I talk to you about this business, I want you to say, oh yes, I loved that you were on that trip in Mexico. Like, that looked so fun. I want them to have that relatability with me.
Interesting that when somebody reaches back, they say that your trip to Mexico looks really fun, meaning like maybe that person had the FOMO feeling, instead of the products that you are selling seem really good and something that would be worth trying and something that I have been looking into. Something like that. But no, it's the FOMO aspect of, look at the trips that they're going on, and the only way you can go on them is if you join the business as well.
And I also know that like people will receive my messages better when they've seen me passionately showing up. Chan, you can't replace one for the other. Like, you can't say I'm going to send all these messages to thousands of people, but I'm not going to post on social media, or I'm going to post and pray that people just reach out to me. Like, that's not going to happen. You've got to do them both. They're mutually exclusive.
Hey, quick too. Yeah. I'm curious, who on here, who did your sponsor come to you, or did you go to your sponsor? My sponsor definitely came to me multiple times. I mean, like 7 to 10 times probably.
Yeah.
Sponsor.
And the other thing about like talking on your social media and sharing on your social media and being someone's friend on your social media is that like, you really truly are their friend. And so like, if you know that they are sick, like, you actually do send them food. Or if you know that they just had a baby, you make them a lasagna. Like, you legit are you're their friend. You're genuine, you're authentic. And that takes away all of that salesiness. You're not going out of your way to bring someone food because you want them to join Plexus with you. You're going out of your way because you like them and you want to be their friend and you want them in your circle. And obviously you want,
and then eventually join Plexus and make money off of them. True, genuine friendship.
People who are doing Plexus in your circle too, right? But they're all happening at the same time. So consistently showing up on your social media is going to build that credibility, and then sending those discovery type messages out Both of them have to be happening for recruiting to happen. Okay.
Okay. So let's talk. First off, there's a couple of different ways we can reach out. Okay. I personally love reaching out for the business, and I can't see the chat. So if you are scared to reach out for the business, will you unmute and say me? Scared, nervous, uncomfortable.
I used to be, and I never would have.
What was the question again? I spaced out.
Is anybody uncomfortable messaging for the business?
I definitely still don't start with that.
I know that she just can't see the chat, so like her whole thing is like, oh, just unmute and like say it, and then like everybody talks at once, so it's like, oh my god. It just becomes like a lot. It's not her fault. But I don't know. It's like if you can't see the chat and you know that there's like a handful of people on there, maybe like pull up the chat on your phone or something, or have something appear in the corner. I guess there's not really much she can do. And I know she was just trying, but it just was overwhelming.
That'd be me.
Not uncomfortable. I just don't know how to start it.
Okay.
Same here. I just, with some people, depending upon the person, I have an issue trying to figure out how to approach them without being weird.
Okay. Let's talk about how to approach somebody without being weird. I love it. That's the perfect segue. Okay.
There's really no way that you can approach somebody without being weird about how you want them to join your MLM. There's no not weird way to do that.
First off, I do that exactly. I approach someone being weird. Like I approach them being myself and saying exactly what I want to say. And if I could give you any tip, it would be say exactly what's on your heart. And so here's some examples of some business reach outs. Hey, how are you?
Actually, she's wrong. They are biz reach outs. And they're for biz reach outs, which is much more unique and quirky than a business reach out.
Your kids are getting so big. I've loved seeing your son learn to ride the big boy bike. I don't know why, but I'm super nervous to message you about this. So I'm just going to come out and say it. Plexus has been really amazing for my life as a mom. The free trips with Zach, the energy and the community, especially because let's be real, how do you even find real friends once you're an adult? Have you thought about adding supplements into your routine or maybe doing something like this from home? Because I would love to be your person and we would have a blast.
You're saying that that's an authentic, real reach out? It's not. You're like, yeah, you commented about something that her son did, but then you, of course, talk about Plexus. And it's like, have you ever thought about what I do? It's not authentic when you have an agenda. I will say that forever and ever. It's just like how when they say that you get paid to promote products. No, you don't. You do not get paid to promote products. You only get paid if you sell the product and you get commission on it, or if you have a handful of people underneath you and you get commission based off of the whole team's sales. So, no, those are the two things that will forever be a no. It's not authentic when you have an agenda to sell to them or get them to be underneath you, or the fact that they make money by just simply sharing about products that they love.
Okay, let's break this down really fast. And we have a bunch of messages that I just really want you guys to either, so you can screenshot these, but the key here is to use what we teach you and then to make it your own. We are not copy paste robots. If you would not say that, if you wouldn't say that to a friend at a party, don't say it to a friend in a message. It's not going to sound like you. So the first part of that, I think this was actually one of Katie's, but she connected with them in the beginning. She told him exactly how she felt. She's nervous. Okay. I remember Brooke Hemingway one time was like, don't admit that you're nervous. I'm like, dude, I can admit if I'm nervous, I'm going to tell him. So tell him exactly how you're feeling. Tell him why you're feeling it. Tell him in one sentence how this has been a blessing for you. Like in 2 sentences, we shared my story basically. And then always end in a question. And this one has 2 questions. Have you ever thought about adding supplements into your routine? Or doing something like this from home? Like, I would respond to that message. Would y'all? Because I would.
No, because I would see it as completely fake and obvious what they're doing.
Option 2 is, and y'all can read these, but I want to read them out loud. I always start with their name. And then you've been on my heart for literally 6 months now. I have wanted to reach out to you, but I have been way too nervous because we haven't seen each other in a while. You are so connected and cool and fit, and I'm just a big scaredy cat. And I care very much about your opinion of me, and I don't want you to think I'm a crazy toddler mom. I want to tell you that I think you would love the products. They're so natural and healthy, and you would kill the business side of Plexus if that's anything you'd ever want to take advantage of. You care so deeply for others, and you are a hard worker. Those two qualities seriously go hand in hand with the climate of our team. Have you ever been curious about Plexus before? Have you ever tried the products? Y'all, that's an actual message I sent in 2018 to a girl that was a dream teamer of mine. And she like commented like 3 like GIFs with cats, okay? After I said I was a scaredy cat. But like,
did she join though? Or was she just kind of making fun of you? That's kind of funny, honestly. Yeah, see, both of them, to me, both of these messages just, if they believe that they are genuine, then I guess good for them. But to me, these are not genuine messages. I mean, these are obvious hun messages. These are not unique to the person that is saying them. We have seen messages like, what'd she say? She sent this to somebody in 2018. Pretty sure that we have seen very similar message to these in the Reddit videos that we do, and we talk about, you know, them sending the hey girl message. I mean, that's basically what this one is with the name girl. Like, it's basically hey girl. It's a hey girl message. That's exactly what it is. And then to say that, like, you know, they're complimenting them, being like, you are such a hardworking, healthy, fit person, which fits exactly in our Plexus world. It's just a way to sugary sweet, make them feel special, unique, and wonderful, and get them invested in the idea of what they think Plexus is all about, and then they join and they realize that it's just sitting on these Zoom calls learning about the messages that the host sent to get them recruited. How is that exciting and wonderful, and how does that have anything to do with hardworking, fit, and that they care so deeply about others? If you care deeply about others, you're not going to join an MLM. Like, you're just not. There are so many other career options out there that you can use if you are someone that cares about others and truly wants to help other people out in the world. The last career choice that you should ever choose to do is to join an MLM, because you would only be sucking money from those people who you claim to care and love about so much.
Break it down. I said exactly what was on my heart. I complimented her, which was one of the things that she said to do. I told her why she would be good at this.
Okay, and also, how is it authentic if you're going through a checklist of all the things you're supposed to say to somebody? Like, make sure to compliment them, make sure to look at their profile and comment about something about them, make sure to add questions in there, make sure to ask them if they even want to do the business or if they're interested in this. Like, if it's a checklist of all the things that you have to hit, you're not being authentic. You are just sending a typical email to a potential customer. That's really what it is.
And then I ended in a question. Like, that is I said exactly what I wanted to say to her. So anybody have questions about these, or are you like, wow, I've never like said anything that open, or just any comments about these two?
I did just see one comment that just said, like, it made her, Audrey, I think said it, I don't remember now, but said like she liked this reminder because she feels like sometimes her reach outs are too long, and, you know, these are longer messages. And so I do think it's important to like realize that, especially like for me, especially like, I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm not going to I feel a little bit fake if I'm like, hey, how are you? How's your kids? Da, da, da. And we have this back and forth. And then I'm like, oh, by the way, have you seen? So I like these longer messages because you do compliment, you do get the.
You know what? She reminded me of something. I will give a compliment to one of the host that apparently wrote these messages, is that within the first message, they are not being sneaky about their reason for reaching out. They are mentioning the name of the company, which is usually rare, and they are mentioning really why they are talking to the person to begin with, which is like, have you ever thought about doing what I do? So I will give them the credit of that, is that they're not stringing these people along for months and months and months. They are bringing up the main point of reach out to them in the first message.
Hey, haven't talked to you in a while, whatever, out there. But then you're also like, yeah, I have an agenda. Like, but you're going to respect me because of I'm coming out and just saying that here's my agenda. Like,
but you're going to respect me. I mean, I guess I did just kind of in a way like say that, like I appreciate that they right away let them know what their agenda is. But again, it can't be a real authentic message about just making a friendship, which is what she said at the beginning of this, is that you are not trying to sell them something in the first message, you're trying to be their friend, but yet you're also letting them know that you are selling them something in the first message and that you want them to join underneath you. And you also can't expect somebody to respect you because of this. They may not respect you for even asking them. They may honestly take it as kind of an insult.
Is why I'm reaching out to you. I personally cannot stand it when someone has this back and forth with me and then throws their agenda in there. Then I'm like, dude, I just got totally played. So the longer message kind of resolves that. Yeah, exactly.
Like you get people in conversation and they're going and then you're like, let's talk about Plexus.
Yeah.
And they have to respond. So like when you put it up front like this, people have the option to say like, yeah, I would love to start this conversation, or no, thank you, it's not a good time. And like I said, like 99% of the time they're going to say, no, thank you. Like, I don't have a need. I don't see myself doing this, but.
And then the key here, you guys, and we'll talk about follow-up next week, and we'll talk about like how to keep the conversation going. But like, if somebody tells you no, it's okay. And then you keep the conversation going as friends. And that is like so key. Don't get your feelings hurt when they say no, thank you.
Yeah, but then if they say no, your point of keeping up the friendship is that hopefully one day they do decide to join, because maybe something goes wrong in their life or something happens and it's kind of a weakish moment in their life, and you saw that happened because you're supposed to be basically stalking them on social media because you're their friend, right? And then they go in, they're like, hey, remember, I'm still doing Plexus. It would really benefit you in this time right now. You know, I saw you have some free time because you just lost your job. Like, what a horrible way to word that, though. It's like somebody gets fired from a job and then someone in an MLM reaches out and they're like, hi, I see you have a lot of free time now. Would you like to join this MLM? How is that authentic? I could never do that to somebody. I could never see that somebody lost their job and then see that as an advantage for myself. Like, that's horrible.
And then you're like, oh, I have to cry for an hour. No, okay, that's totally fine. I totally get that. I actually waited for 2 years. I'll get back with you in a year, winky face. How's your family been? Okay. So let's go on to the next one. Okay. So those were some business reach outs. Personally, I love reaching out for the business. I find it way easier than just for the products. So after liking a post,
you find that reaching out for the business is easier than selling the product. Shouldn't your whole job be selling the product, not selling the business and trying to recruit more people underneath you? And why is it easier to sell the business to people than to sell a product? Is it because it is more financially beneficial for you to have more people underneath you, so you have more of a love and a desire for that side of Plexus than the products that are just always whatever?
Do you guys know that, like, if somebody we're either starting conversations via a list of people that we call like our cold market, right? Like they haven't said I'm interested per se, or if you're posting enough and you're showing up enough and you're adding enough value to the people on your social media, you will have people liking or voting on a poll or commenting here and there. And that is when it's like, okay, great. I have this whole list of people I can go message. I've been at this for 4.5 years. I have a lot less people liking my stuff than y'all do. Okay, I promise you that. So after liking and commenting on a post is a really great way to get the conversation started. Every single person.
Hey,
do
buddy.
not prejudge.
Are you looking for daddy? He's not in here.
Do not prejudge them. Like, oh, they probably don't need the products. Oh, they're probably just liking my post because they're my family member. They're my best friend. Dude, no. Message them, tell them thank you like a real person would, and then ask them if they want more info. Like, so I want you to screenshot these. But like that's one I actually sent to my friend Alex, and she signed up like the next month after getting a sample. Hey Alex, I feel like I know you so well. And I really did. I'd never met her in person. And then just curious if you see my post about Plexus, which I already knew she had because she'd been liking them. It's basically a working mom's best friend. Do you have any questions about it? Always end in a question, you guys. And then the other one, thanks so much for liking my Plexus post. I know the like seems small, but I appreciate your support. Have you ever tried Plexus before? That's a Lauren Davis one, right? So that's another tool in your toolbox to start conversations. Here's some more. Someone's on your mind. You want to take this one or these?
Yeah. So, and like someone's on your mind. It just reminds me so much of Marissa, because I remember when Marissa first got started, it was just like, she ranked up so fast because people were coming on her mind. And when they came on her mind, she messaged them. And so this one's, hi, Amy, how was your weekend? Did you guys do anything fun? I was in Atlanta, now catching up on life, including mountains of laundry. Laugh a lot. I've been thinking about you so much. I remember you mentioning the migraines you were having. This may or may not be for you, but I know a lot of people just like you that have been helped with the plant-based supplements I've been taking. If I sent you some info, would you be open to checking it out? Okay. This one has some really good trigger phrases in it. The first one being, this may or may not be for you. You're kind of giving them an out, but you're also going to provide the information. And then the last one is, if I blank, would you blank? That business, that reach out model is highly, highly successful. What did this say? If I sent you some info, would you be open to checking it out? Like, that's really.
How many times have we heard this in so many MLMs? And if they really think that that was unique to that individual, it's not, because they're taught to do this. I mean, it really is just people at the top are just teaching people below the same stuff, and then they will teach the people below them, and then they'll teach the people below them. And it's just how we see this just literal carbon copy and paste messages throughout every single MLM, and yet they think these are so special and that they work, and oh my god, there's no way that somebody could say no to this message. It's not, I don't know, they all sound exactly the same to me, and they don't sound great. I wouldn't respond to any of them, and they sound fake. Every single one of them sounds fake, and if they think that this is a genuine, authentic message, again, great for them. But for a lot of people, they can see through this. They can see what the person is actually trying to do. Like, they're not reaching out to them because they just thought about them. Like, oh, I just thought about you, and so I decided to just ask you, hee hee. No, they have an agenda, and it's to make money off of you. It's to get you to buy the starter kit. It's to get you to recruit people underneath you so that they can boost up in the ranks. That is the whole point of this all, and people can see through it. Most people can see through it.
Really simple for someone to write back and say, like, yeah, I'd love to check it out. And even if they never checked it out, like, that's going to probably get you a response asking that question. And this is another biz reach out over here. Hey, Jessica, I know this is random, but I want to be really open with why I'm messaging you up front. I haven't seen that you've been struggling with anything in particular, but in case you might be suffering in silence like I did for years, I at least wanted to reach out. I talk all the time about how much Plexus has done for our family's health, digestive issues, our weight. Not that that is even remotely a problem for you, skinny mini. There's that compliment. And since making it my full-time job, God has done some major things with this opportunity that I totally judged for years. So curious if you've ever thought about trying the products or doing something like this for home. There's another phrase in there, the curious, just curious. It just makes it very simple. Like, I'm just truly curious if this is something you've ever thought about. And again, this one shared a little bit of the story, like all right in there, like complimented, shared a story, asked a question. It was very simple and basic. So both of those are like, screenshot them, because both of those are just really simple. And obviously, like, everyone is going to be different. Like that.
Let's say somebody on this call is thinking that this is going to be really good information, really good knowledge, and they're screenshotting the things, and they're a part of this call, so taking time out of their day to be a part of this call to hopefully learn something new. They take these messages, they reword them a little bit to make it sound more like them, and now what? They probably are exactly where they were before, having no recruits, selling nothing because I can't see a lot of these messages actually working. And then they would go to the upline and say, I've been sending the messages and nothing's happening. And what will the upline probably say? Reach out to more people, or it takes a lot longer than a few reach outs. You have to keep investing in this person, keep talking to them, and then talk to more people and go from there. It's always just talk to more people. And it'll never be, oh, it's because people don't want to join MLMs because they know the business model will make them absolutely no money. No, it's not that. It's the fact that the individual just like, oh, people just need more time and you just need to reach out to more people. That's probably the answer they would give, when in reality, like I just said, it's the fact that the business model, MLMs, people just don't like them.
Cannot copy and paste that. Like, you can't. So don't. I mean, but make it your own and follow this kind of, you can follow it as skeleton, basically. Yeah.
Yep.
But isn't it kind of also like they're saying like copy and paste it, but like reword it in like different ways? That's basically plagiarism, but like that's okay to do in MLMs. It's okay to plagiarize.
Couple more, because y'all, there's times where we're just like, okay, there's gonna be seasons of your business where you know a lot of people coming to you. Maybe you're like really spitting some awesome social media game. Like you're going live every week, you are adding value like crazy, you've got people liking and commenting and asking questions. There's also gonna be seasons where, you know, I remember after I went senior gold, almost all the way to senior ruby, I felt like I was having to work for every person that came that I helped get started with Plexus. Like I was having to message a lot of people, and that's totally okay. So messages like these are great for situations like that. I don't want to call them generic, but like somebody's on your mind. So I've loved seeing all of your pictures of your kids. They're so adorable, amazing. Have we already done this one? No.
Oh my god. That's how similar these sound. That she was reading another one and goes, wait, didn't I already read this? You did. You're gonna claim that it's different, but no, you already read it. It doesn't matter if it's a new name. It doesn't matter if you slightly change some of the words. Every single one of these messages are exactly the same.
She's relating to her as a mom, and then I know hardworking, multitasking mama, when I see one, compliment. And that's just a sign to me that you'd rock this. Have you ever thought about doing something like this from home? The question that the other one ends with is I'd love to be a resource for you. Are you
That's not a question. That's a comment.
familiar with Plexus at all? Yeah, that's a great one, because when they say no, be like, oh my gosh, we've got this event coming up. I need to get you into it so that I can show you what this is. Right? So it's like,
I thought she was going to say, I need to get you into this so that I can recruit you so I can rank up. See, that's being authentic and genuine.
a door into the next step, which we'll talk about next week.
And I was going to say that totally reminds me of this that I didn't mention in the beginning that I meant to, is when you're sending these messages, like your end game, of course, at the end of the day, like you want them to join you, you want them to get their welcome pack, right? That's your total end game, right? But this message is like 99% not going to lead you right to that right now. They're not going to be like, yes, I want all the things. I want to do, all the things. Go silver. Like they don't know that. But it is going to open the door if they say yes to the next step, to inviting them to something, to sending them a sample, to getting them reading information, to adding them to our pages, all of that stuff. Like it's going to start that process. You can't start that process rolling if you never send those messages and talk about it. So that's how we start this process. That's how we start our system, getting in people's inboxes. So that reminded me. Thank you.
No, I mean, and I think that where a lot of people go wrong, where I've gone wrong before, is I give them too much, y'all. The initial message is not a presentation. It is an invitation to learn more. It's not a presentation, it's an invitation. The invitation is to learn more, okay? So we are not saying, hey, I've got this event, you should come do this. You would love my supplements. They are all natural. They do this and this, and X, Y, Z, and give them all the ingredients. Like that is not what this is. Okay. So notice none of these have done any of that. We have not presented any information. We've shared a story, complimented them, asked a question.
Yeah. So you might have heard us talk or say the words IPA. And this is essentially how we work our business. It's the activities that actually produce income in our business. Okay. What we just talked about is basically the hugest part of your IPA. So when it's like, okay, when you hear us say like, oh, we're going to do a power hour or we're going to work our business, like that is what you should be sitting down and doing. Okay.
So sending the cold messages to people to get them to join underneath you, which is the main point really of sending the messages, is the most important part and of how they make money in the business. It's recruiting. It's sending cold messages. That's how they do the income producing things. It's not sharing products you love on social media. It's not posting on social media, even though you have to do that because otherwise people think you're inauthentic, I guess. But it is sending messages, trying to sound authentic, but yet sounding like a fake robot is the way that they get their income. Which also is not true, but I guess it's really sending a cold message at the right time, maybe to somebody, or it is investing a lot of time into certain individuals in the hope that they will maybe join underneath you because you catch them at a wrong time, or they really do think that you are their friend, but it's like at the whole time it's because they want you to sign up so that you can profit off of them, so that you buy a starter kit, you constantly buy products in the company, and it helps build that team volume so that that person can rank up and then make more money and more commission off of the team. So it all just leads back to recruitment, and that's how they make their money.
Social media, like scrolling on social media, or even, I mean, yes, you have to post as part of it, right? But like, if you are not sending messages, you are not doing your IPA. Like you have to be sending out messages. You've got to be connecting with people in messages. You've got to be texting them, calling, like whatever you need to do to get with your people and like talk to them about what you're doing and what you're loving and all of that stuff. Like that's your IPA. Like, so when we talk about doing power hours and doing IPA, like this is the hugest part of it. So we wanted to make sure you all know that this is this is the income producing activities that you should be doing if you want this business. And I heard a quote or something. I think Christina Williams said it when she was doing a training or something, but she said, in our industry, so not just Plexus, but like in our industry, if you were to do your IPA every single day, you would be at the top of your company in 10 years. And she predicted that the statistic for Plexus is like about half of that. So like if you were to do your IPA for 5 years, every single day, like you would be at the top of the company. And I would even predict you could do it faster. If you legitimately did your IPA every single day, you could probably do it in like 2 or 3.
I would say 3 to 5 for sure.
Yeah.
And that would be like, and that's totally worth it. If you could spend 30 minutes to an hour a day and make in between $25,000 and $45,000 a month, yeah, worth it. Okay, and then Katie, was there anything else we want to talk to you about IPA? Because I really would like to take questions on messaging.
Yeah, and the only other thing that we wanted to mention, hold on, I want to pull it up, is but just a little bit about failure tolerance before we answer questions. And in terms of like legitimately, the only difference between me or a silver and a diamond or a double diamond is that they've sent more messages and they've been told no a whole heck of a lot of times, right? But they've consistently sent those messages. They've consistently reached out to people. That's the only thing. They've been told no a lot more times than I have or any of you guys have. And so like that should be your goal. Like your goal should be to be told no 100 more times, because that means that eventually all those times you're getting told no, eventually you're going to be told yes, and you're going to be told yes, and you're going to be told yes. So just keep that in mind, because it's a really important thing to remember. Like if you are consistent, you're showing up and you're doing your IPA, you're going to make good things happen.
Yeah. And also, y'all, messaging is fun. Have you ever told yourself, I love discovery messages. I love getting to actually choose who I work with. Like how, to me, I love messaging people and complimenting them by saying, hey, listen, out of all the people on Facebook, or out of all the people I could message, I'm messaging you because I want to do life with you more. You.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I love that I get to choose who I get to surround myself with. Like, it makes it that much more fun. And I was going to show y'all some messages that I sent Callie Beal. She actually has a post, and I'll probably put it in our team thread, but it shows you like the messages that I sent her. Like, I don't even know how many messages, Callie. It was like 7 or 8 or something. But I started with an event invite and then went to another event invite, and then finally ended up just saying, can I send you samples to your door? So I think I just want to encourage y'all to get really bold and to have a lot of fun with this. You are not a salesy person. You are not. And they will say yes eventually when the timing is right on their end. But you've got to be the one to be there whenever it is time for them. Just like for me, 2 years later, y'all, I was at like the pit of despair after my sponsor had been messaging me over and over and over. And I was so thankful she was there that day. And I still like want to probably need to kiss her because she's literally changed our life. And so I want y'all to have that mindset. I get to go change people's lives because I'm consistent and I'm really good at messaging people in an authentic way. So, do y'all have questions about, I'm going to stop recording.
Bye, Plexus ladies. Okay, so that was a lot there at the end. I want to comment about what they said is that if you work 30 minutes to an hour a day for 3 to 5 years, you will easily make, what'd she say, 25 to 45,000 because you'll be top of the company. Also, you're saying that sending cold messages 30 minutes to an hour, and they say like, oh, you're just working your business 30 minutes to an hour a day. That's not true. You may only send messages for 30 minutes to an hour, but then you have to go live on Instagram or Facebook, post on Instagram or Facebook, come up with those things, comment on people's posts throughout the day, message all the people that you sent those cold messages to, be a part of the Zoom calls, the power hours, be a part of all of that. That's not just 30 minutes to an hour of your time. That is hours and hours of your time. Yeah, the cold messages may only take you 30 minutes, like I said, like I can maybe agree with them there, but what about the people who respond? You have to dedicate time to them and respond to them and get that going, and then you have to show up for the Zoom calls, you have to schedule your Facebook or Instagram posts, you have to show up every single day on social media, you have to be finding new people to message, you have to be commenting on people and liking their stuff and engaging with them. Like, it's a lot more than just 30 minutes a day. And to say like, oh, it's as easy as 30 minutes a day and then your life will be changed in 3 to 5 years, that's not true. That is not true, because there are people who have been in MLMs for years and years and years, and they're nowhere near the top of the company. They don't have as many people underneath them. And also, let's say when they said like, oh, isn't it great that you get to choose who you get to work with? That's like kind of true-ish. Like, obviously you can message whoever you want, but if they don't say no, like those people that you genuinely wanted to work with, then you're not really working with who you want to work with, and so you go to your next list of people who are kind of your ehs, and maybe one of them says yes. So it's like they were kind of more of an that you wanted to work with than like the woohoo go-getter person that you absolutely wanted to work with, like your best friend or your sister, and they said no. You're not really working with who you want to work with, but of course they will convince you that anyone that says yes are the true believers, the true go-getters, the true people who really genuinely get it, and the true people who are actually the ones that love you and want you to be a part of this community. Because really what they will convince you is that it's the community that's the most expensive. Why is that not also wrong? But the most exciting part, and that if you stay in the business for 3 to 5 years, then you'll see the life-changing income. Notice how they just want you to stay, message, invest, and all will be okay for the uplines. Alright, you guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really, really liked it, please subscribe. Let's talk anything and everything Plexus in the comments below. And until my next video, I will see you guys then. Bye!